What if the fastest way to stop heartburn is not a pill, but a position? You are sitting at the dinner table, and that familiar burn starts crawling up your chest. Your first instinct is to lie down on the couch and wait for it to pass. That is the worst thing you could possibly do. Lying down does not help the burn. It feeds it. Your stomach is full, and gravity is the only thing keeping the acid down. When you recline, you remove gravity from the equation. The acid sloshes backward into your esophagus, like water spilling over a dam. And that burning feeling is not a stomach ache. It is a chemical burn on delicate tissue. Most people reach for an antacid tablet and hope for the best. But those tablets take 20 to 30 minutes to dissolve and work. 20 minutes is an eternity when your chest is on fire. What if you could stop the burn in under 5 minutes? What if the answer was already sitting in your kitchen cupboard? There is a two-step fix that works faster than any drug on the market. It costs pennies and takes almost no effort. But first, you need to understand what is actually happening inside your body. Because once you see the mechanics, the solution becomes obvious, and you will never treat heartburn the same way again. Your stomach is a powerful chemical factory. It produces hydrochloric acid to break down the food you eat. That acid is strong enough to digest a piece of steak, but your stomach has a thick mucus lining that protects it from that acid. Your esophagus does not have that same protection. The esophagus is a muscular tube that connects your throat to your stomach. It is designed to carry food downward, not to withstand acid. At the bottom of your esophagus sits a ring of muscle called the lower esophageal sphincter. Think of it as a trapdoor that opens to let food into your stomach. Then it closes tightly to keep acid from splashing back up. When that trapdoor fails, acid escapes into the esophagus. That is reflux. The burning sensation you feel is the acid literally irritating the unprotected lining. It is not a sign that you have too much acid in your stomach. It is a sign that acid is in the wrong place. The volume of acid is usually normal. The problem is the location. Several things can make that trapdoor open when it should stay closed. Eating a large meal creates pressure that pushes against the sphincter. Lying down flat allows acid to flow backward, without gravity to stop it. Bending over after a meal does the same thing. Certain foods relax the sphincter, making it weaker. Fatty foods, chocolate, caffeine, and alcohol are common culprits. Spicy foods do not cause reflux directly, but they irritate an already inflamed esophagus. So the burn gets worse. The key point is this: heartburn is a mechanical and chemical problem. It is not a disease that requires a prescription. It is a physical event that you can correct with physics and simple chemistry. When acid touches your esophagus, it triggers pain receptors. That pain is your body telling you to do something different. Most people misunderstand the message. They think the message is, take a pill to reduce acid. But the real message is, get the acid out of your esophagus right now. Reducing acid production takes hours. Neutralizing the acid that is already there takes seconds. And using gravity to keep more acid from coming up is immediate. Now you understand the mechanics. Now you can see why the common approach is completely backward. Here is where almost everyone gets it wrong. The first mistake is lying down. You finish dinner, the burn starts, and you head to the couch. You put your head on a pillow and close your eyes. In that moment, you have turned your esophagus into a slide for stomach acid. Without gravity holding the acid down, it flows upward freely. The longer you lie down, the more acid reaches your throat. That is why heartburn is often worse at night when you are sleeping. The second mistake is reaching for an antacid chewable tablet. Those tablets are great for mild discomfort, but they take time. They need to dissolve, travel down, and react with the acid in your stomach. Meanwhile, the acid already in your esophagus is still burning you. You are waiting for relief while the damage continues. The third mistake is drinking milk. Milk feels cool and soothing going down. For a moment, it seems to help. But milk contains fat and protein that trigger your stomach to produce even more acid. Within 30 minutes, the burn often returns worse than before. The same goes for eating crackers or bread. Foods that absorb acid seem like a good idea, but they do not neutralize it. They just push it down temporarily. The trapped acid stays in your stomach, waiting for the right moment to come back up. Many people also take over-the-counter acid blockers. Those drugs reduce how much acid your stomach makes over several hours. They are useful for chronic issues, but they do nothing for the acid that is already burning you right now. You are treating the future, not the present. The present burn is a crisis. You need a crisis solution. The other dangerous mistake is ignoring the signs and just pushing through the pain. When you ignore the burn, you allow the acid to cause inflammation and swelling. Over time, that repeated damage can lead to a condition called esophagitis. It can even change the cells lining your esophagus. That is a serious long-term risk. So you cannot just wait it out. You need a fix that works immediately. The good news is that the fix is so simple it feels like a cheat code. It takes almost no extra time, and it does not require a trip to the pharmacy. Here is the two-step rule for stopping heartburn in under 5 minutes. Step 1 is about posture. Step 2 is about chemistry. Let us start with posture. The moment you feel the burn, sit up or stand up straight. Pull your shoulders back and lift your chin. Keep your spine as straight as a line. You want your torso to be completely vertical. This uses gravity to pull the acid back down into your stomach. Do not slouch. Do not recline. Do not lean to the side. Stay perfectly upright for at least 5 minutes. If you are in bed, sit up against the headboard. Better yet, stand up and walk slowly around the room. Walking encourages your stomach to empty its contents faster. That reduces pressure on the trapdoor. Remember, gravity is your best friend in this moment. The second step is the chemical neutralizer. Take half a teaspoon of plain baking soda. Stir it into a small glass of lukewarm water. About 4 ounces is perfect. Drink it slowly, sip by sip. The baking soda is a base. It is the opposite of acid. When the base meets the acid in your esophagus and stomach, they neutralize each other. They create salt, water, and carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide may make you burp. That is a good sign. That burp releases pressure and removes gas from your stomach. Within 60 seconds, the burning sensation begins to fade. The acid is no longer active. It has been converted into harmless compounds. You do not need to wait for digestion. The reaction happens on contact. That is why baking soda works faster than any antacid tablet. If you do not have baking soda, there is a backup plan. Chew a stick of sugar-free gum. Chewing stimulates your salivary glands. Your saliva is naturally alkaline. It contains bicarbonate, which is the same compound found in baking soda. As you chew, you produce a flood of saliva. You swallow that saliva, and it coats your esophagus. The alkaline saliva neutralizes the acid that is stuck to the lining. Gum works in about 2 to 3 minutes. It is slower than baking soda, but it still works. Now, here is the most important rule. After you drink the baking soda solution, do not eat anything for at least 30 minutes. Do not lie down. Stay upright. Let your stomach settle. If the burn returns, you can repeat the baking soda dose one more time, but do not exceed that. Too much baking soda can affect your sodium balance. This fix is meant for occasional heartburn, not daily use. For chronic heartburn, you should see a doctor. But for that sudden, painful burn after a meal, this two-step rule is a game changer. You no longer have to suffer while waiting for a pill to work. You take control with your posture and your kitchen cupboard. That is the rule. It is simple, it is cheap, and it is effective. But does it actually hold up to scientific scrutiny? The answer is yes. Let us look at the evidence behind this fix. The chemistry is not debatable. When you mix baking soda with hydrochloric acid, neutralization happens instantly. This is a standard reaction taught in every basic chemistry class. The acid loses its corrosive power. It becomes water and a harmless salt. That is not alternative medicine. That is basic science. Now, look at the posture advice. Gastroenterologists, regularly recommend sleeping with your head elevated. They suggest using a wedge pillow to keep your torso raised all night. Why do they recommend that? Because studies show that elevation reduces acid reflux episodes by nearly 50%. The mechanism is gravity. If gravity helps you sleep through the night, it can help you stop a flare-up instantly. There is also clinical research on chewing gum. One study found that chewing gum after a meal significantly reduced acid levels in the esophagus. The alkaline saliva cleared acid faster than doing nothing at all. Participants reported less heartburn and faster symptom relief. So the evidence is solid. The real power of this approach is that it addresses the immediate problem. It does not mask the pain. It removes the irritant. It does not wait for digestion. It works on contact. It does not fight your body. It works with your body's natural mechanics. That is why this is not just a quick fix. It is a smarter way to understand your body. Heartburn is a signal. It tells you that your stomach is under pressure and acid has escaped. When you sit up and neutralize the acid, you are listening to that signal. You are responding in the exact right way. Over time, you will start to notice what triggers your reflux. You will learn which foods cause the trapdoor to fail. You will adjust your eating habits and your posture. You will take control. But in the moment, when that burn rises, and you need relief right now, you have the rule. Half a teaspoon of baking soda in a small glass of water. Stand up straight. Sip it slowly. Wait 1 minute. The burn will fade. It is that simple. If this video helped you understand heartburn differently and gave you a tool you can use tonight, subscribe for more simple health truths. Thank you for watching.